Hello and welcome to the Homeowner Prep Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Halan, and this podcast was created to provide real-world advice and accountability for first-time homebuyers. We'll be interviewing industry experts, providing some how-tos, and talking with first-time homebuyers about their personal experiences. If that sounds interesting to you, please be sure to subscribe, and if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit the little bell to be notified when new episodes release. Now let's dive into today's episode. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Homeowner Prep Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that, I have a lot of conversations with buyers in the marketplace right now, and we're talking about the pros and cons of buying new construction. So right now, because we're in a very competitive seller's market, oftentimes buyers think, well, an alternative to being outbid and competing with so many people is to go the new construction route, to go and look at new developments and say, okay, let me just go put my name down on a list and hope to get a property there. And so we're going to talk a little bit about the pros and cons of taking that route. And some of my experiences, not only with my clients, but also, I've been through the process of buying new construction myself. And so the main thing that I want to address is that word hope, right? So there's a very active way of going about finding a home, putting in offers, and trying your best, giving your highest and best offers to lock in a home yourself versus hoping that this new construction, new development will actually choose you so that you can buy a house. And so one is very active, one is very passive. And so the first thing that I do want to talk about is actually a pro. When you buy new construction, you're buying everything new. That's great. Air conditioning unit is new. All the HVAC system, all the appliances. You don't really expect to have any issues that you would with, say, a resale property. If you buy a resale property, maybe the home was built in the 80s, maybe the roof was done 25 years ago. So you don't know when these big expenses will come back around and you'll be responsible for them. So, buying new construction means that, yes, you're going to buy everything brand new. Things are expected to work. Things are under warranty. So you should be protected. However, that does not mean that you should not still do a walkthrough. If you get accepted, you go through the process of buying the house. When that home is ready for you, it's been built and it's ready for you to now finish out the process of purchasing it, you need to still do your walkthrough. Do your walkthrough with, obviously with somebody who represents the community, the development, which is usually going to be a construction manager there on site, but also with your agent. Do the walkthrough with your agent. You're going to have an opportunity to go through, tag different items that you see that need to be fixed, need to be addressed, and then expect to find issues. Now, I always tell clients, there's no such thing as a home with no issues. Even new construction will have some issues that you need to address. And so make sure you do your walkthrough. Don't look at this as an opportunity to, yes, I'm buying everything brand new and everything should be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. So go through, do your walkthroughs. Again, have your agent there to help out, spot issues that they may see that'll help you make sure that the home is ready to go when you move in. And then again, you will have a warranty period that you need to really look at and say, well, when can I address issues? When do I have to have everything checked off and ready to go? Because it may be a year, maybe a year and a half where they say, okay, after this time period, you're now on your own. So definitely, make sure that you're addressing the issues within that time period. So, do your walkthroughs. Don't expect everything to be perfect and you'll be fine. Another pro is that usually when you buy new construction, the price is already set. The price is a lock price, so they say, okay, we're selling this particular model at this particular price. And every phase of release, every time they build and release new homes, the prices tend to go up. And so you'll know what the price is going to be going into that scenario. So unlike buying resale property where you're throwing out your highest and best offers, you're dealing with appraisals, you're competing against multiple people who may be offering a lot higher than you are. With new construction, should you be chosen from the interest list, they're going to give you a price. Here's the release. Here's what this home is going for. And that's going to be your base price. So at least you know where you're starting. And I say base price because you will have some upgrades, and we'll talk about, some of those things a little bit later. But you will have upgrades that will increase the price, because every home in new development is built as a base model. Some will have a better base than others. Some may come with, different countertops. Maybe you have quartz as their base model instead of maybe a granite. Some may include the appliances with the base model, so you don't have to buy, refrigerator, washer, dryer, things of that nature. So you want to know what's included, but at least you'll know the base price going in. And so that is a traditional new construction model. However, I will have a caveat there. What we're seeing more now, especially in really hot sellers markets, are new construction, new development releases actually asking for highest and best offer. So, this may seem a little strange, but they'll release, say, 4 homes to the people who are on the interest list, and whoever's coming in with the highest and best offer will be rewarded that home. And so, yes, it is getting competitive, and it's becoming a lot like the resale market. So back, a few years ago where you could, see the price, as soon as they picked you, you had it and you were a lock. Now they're going to release, say, 4 homes, put it out to everybody come in with their highest and best offer. So you still may see some of that competition and some of those higher prices even on the new development side. So that's one thing to keep in mind as a caveat to what we're used to seeing. I'm going to go over a couple of cons, and I don't want to harp on cons because there are a lot of pros to buying new construction. Don't get me wrong. But there are a couple major cons that I do want to address. One is what I talked about a little bit earlier, which was the base model. What does that base model look like, and what are the upgrades going to cost you? So oftentimes when you want to buy new construction, you want to buy it because, hey, it's move-in ready. I just want to move in. I don't want a lot of the hassle. I don't want a lot of repairs and things of that nature. However, when it comes to your upgrades, you may have that same mindset and say, well, I just want to get these upgrades done before I move in. And so the con with that is those upgrades come at a cost. Those upgrades are going to be quite higher than you would pay an independent contractor that or that your agent can refer you to for the same work. If you're going to get the floors done, you can expect to pay 2 to 3 times the amount from the developer than you would going independent. So my advice is always, yes, do your upgrades, do the things that you absolutely have to have. But if there are things that you can put off until you close, I'd much rather you use an independent contractor and do that work. Or if you're handy, you can do it yourself, high quality, do it that way. Because you're going to save money by going outside of the new construction and their people and going with your own people. So, when it comes to the higher costs and, like I said, the base model, when you start to get into the upgrades, it can really significantly add to your price, because once you're starting to pay their design center and their team to do those upgrades, again, you're going to be looking at 2 to 3 times cost from doing it independently. So if you have the patience to do it yourself, do it yourself. Another con is it comes down to that word hope. I don't tend to work on the word hope. I like my clients to really take action. Everything that we do with Homeowner Prep is about action, whether it's budgeting, whether it's fixing your credit, whether, you're approved and you're actually out there making offers. You're in control of taking action. When it comes to new construction, you're hoping your name gets chosen from this interest list. And they'll never tell you how big the interest list is, right? So if they're going to build 168 homes in this community, they could have an interest list of 500 folks. So how do you get your name selected? You don't know. They're not really going to tell you because they want you to stay on that list. They want you to stay interested. They don't want you to go off and go buy, a resale property or go to another community to buy. So they want to keep you on that list. So they'll never tell you how many people are on it or how to be selected from that list. But I will tell you there is one thing that they will kind of give a little bit more weight to, and that's if you use their in-house lender. If you use their in-house lender, then all of a sudden they'll try their best to really select you, which isn't fair. I mean, obviously you have your own relationships with your real estate agent and your lender that you want to work with, but they're going to give a little more weight in their selection process to somebody who's going to use their in-house lender. So just something to consider. But again, that's a hope model of buying a house versus a taking action and determination model of going out making offers on property. So don't get caught up with just being content with putting your name on an interest list, because it will not guarantee you a spot. It will not guarantee you a home. You could be waiting many phases down the road. So you may see one price now, and maybe they're on phase 3 or phase 4, but they're going all the way to phase 18. By the time your name gets selected, your price could be significantly higher. Remember, every phase release, they tend to jump in price. Right now, we're seeing $10,000 to $15,000 jump for every phase release in some communities. So, imagine what your price could be 10 to 12 phases down the road. So something to consider as you go about buying new construction. One last thing that I would like to add is that you really need to have your own representation even when you go to new construction. So if you're looking at a new community you're interested in an area that you like, make sure your agent goes with you on the first visit. Make sure they're there to represent you. Because if you go in there without an agent, you're now going to be working directly with that new construction community, that company, the developer. And so they're going to be representing you. And obviously, the agents who are in the office are going to have a little bit more reasoning to make sure that the developer sees the better end of the deal. And so you want to make sure that you have an agent representing you. Some new communities are not giving commissions or what they call broker co-ops with the realtor. So your agent may get paid less or may not get paid at all. But if your agent tells you to just go see a community because they're not getting paid, then you have the wrong agent. Your agent needs to be there to represent you, to make sure you're protected, whether they're getting paid or not. It's all about the relationship that they're building with you. And so again, if that's a red flag, if your agent is sending you to new communities to go check in yourself, go look at models, and they're not necessarily concerned about helping you in that process as much as they are helping you in resale, because they know that they're getting paid less or no commission at all. So again, make sure you have representation. Make sure you're protected. Don't go in there using their agents and their team. That's a lot like going through a divorce and using your soon-to-be ex-spouse's lawyer to help you. You want to have some representation on your side to make sure you're protected. So those are a few of the pros and cons. Obviously, we're not going to get into all of them. If you're thinking about buying new construction, reach out to us. We'd love to discuss, exactly what that process looks like, how to win in that process, and really how to go about it the right way. And then, of course, connecting you with maybe an agent in your area who can really help you as well. We really want to make sure that we're there for you to help you through that process and you're not going about it alone. If you have any questions at all, definitely reach out to us. We'd love to help you. I hope you got some great information from today's episode. We look forward to providing more great information on the next episode. So definitely come on back, check us out, and be blessed. I hope you got some value from today's episode. If you know someone who could benefit from hearing this show, be sure to share it with them. And if you're listening to the podcast, we'd love for you to drop us a review. We'd also love to hear from you if you have any questions. So reach out to us on Instagram at Homeowner Prep. Who knows? We may read your review and answer your question on one of our future shows.